This is the easiest way to cut a cowl neck blouse. Okay, so my fabric is already on a fold, so I'm just opening it up to show you guys before you say, Ada, you did not tell whether it's on a fold. It's on a fold. The next thing I went ahead to do was to mark 1 inch for my zip allowance. Now this blouse is it's going to have like a turtleneck collar, so this is the back part. So I marked 1 inch for my zip allowance, and I went ahead to draw my starting line at the top. Then I took the length for my blouse at 22 inches. So it's the length of my blouse now that I just marked, and I drew a straight line. Okay, so now after doing all this, I took my neck width at 2.5 inches for the back. I also took my neck depth at 1 inch. Remember, I told you that this is the back part. Okay, so now after taking my neck width at 2.5 inches and my neck depth at 1 inch, I just went ahead to connect everything together. Then for my zip allowance line, I marked my shoulder. So your shoulder measurement divided by 2, you mark it there. Okay, so now after I did this, I went ahead to draw my bust line, my under bust line, my half blouse, and of course that last line is the length of my blouse. Okay, so I just went ahead to input my bust measurement, my circumference of my under bust, circumference of my waist, and at the hem I added 2 extra inches to whatever my hips measurement is, and I just marked it out and connected all my markings together. So at the hem I went ahead and I came up by 1 inch. After coming up by 1 inch, I just curved it in. I added joining allowance for my shoulder, and I also added seam allowance for the side. After doing all this, I just went ahead to cut. Okay, you guys know how we mark our armhole, we mark at our measurement. That is what I just did here for the back. So now let's cut the front. The first thing I went ahead to do was to fold my zip allowance, and I secured them with office pin. Okay, and I secured it with office pin before I speak bad English. So for the front part, I just went ahead to fold my fabric in this A-shaped pattern. Okay, or A-shaped shape, whatever. Then I placed the back piece on the A shape like this. Okay, you want to make sure that you don't curve it too much, that the end, try to make sure that the end when you are cutting it, that's the hem, is straight, so it doesn't come out looking, asymmetric. Okay, so I just placed the back part on the front like this. Shall you see how I'm connecting my shoulder, my neck width? You're just going to draw a straight line at the top like that. So after drawing a straight line, there's a reason why I did that thing, so that I'll know where my shoulder is stopping, where my shoulder is starting from. Okay, that's where my neck width is stopping, and where my neck width is stopping. Yeah, so I just went ahead to cut it out. Yeah, I confused you guys a little bit, but you get what I was trying to say. You can see I notched that place too. Okay, so now it is time to cut the facing, and I grabbed the front part. You can see that I also placed this facing on an A-shape folding. So I placed the front part on the fabric, and wherever you want your facing to stop, that's where you mark. So me, I marked below to around my nipple point. Okay, that is where I marked for it to stop. And after marking, I just went ahead to connect my markings together. I drew a straight line to connect my markings together, and I flipped it back and rearranged it. So after doing this, the next thing I went ahead to do was to cut it out. Okay, you want to use it to cut out the shape of your armhole and of the top, because you're going to use this fabric. If it's a sleeveless cloth, a sleeveless blouse, you use it to turn over the armhole. But if it's not a sleeveless blouse, you just use it to turn over just the top. Okay, so now this is what it looks like. Okay, this tutorial is basically how to cut, but let me give you guys a little bit how to sew. Let me annoy you people small. Okay, so now for the front part, you can see how I grabbed my lining. I grabbed my lining and I placed it on the main piece like this, and I took it over to my sewing machine and I joined. But you are going to join. Remember that place I marked, that's where my neck width stopped, right? You are going to join from that place. You're not going to turn over all the shoulder lines together. Okay, so which is what I did here. See that place, I notched it again, just little or not so much, and from that place I just went ahead to join. See that thing people do to me, say, oh, Ada, you people watch, you will not like. Well, in this video I did not give people the complete tutorial. Okay, so I turned over the top of the front part, and from the back part I just joined it at the zip allowance. Okay, I joined it at the zip allowance. I opened up the zip allowance because we are going to give this a very good press. Okay, So if you're still part of those people sprinkling water on your fabric, stop it. Stop it. Get yourself a very good pressing iron. And you guys know now, my plug is Binatone. Binatone pressing irons. They are very good. They are very durable. They have a ceramic non-stick sole plate, so it easily glides over fabric. Okay. I also give the front part a very good press after turning over the top. You can see that I left the joining, that's my shoulder lines. I left it open. I didn't turn it over. It's just the neckline I turned over. You can see how this iron is easily spraying water on this dress. Get yourself a good pressing iron, ladies and gentlemen. So I gave it a very, very good press so that everything is well incorporated into the fabric and is flat. So now after giving it a good press, I went ahead to cut my turtleneck neck collar. If you don't know how to cut a turtleneck collar, I have a detailed tutorial on my YouTube channel. Check the link in the comment section or the description box. So I used the facing of this collar to turn over the neckline. And ladies and gentlemen, this is where I stopped sewing this collar, this cloth. I've not finished sewing it. When I finish sewing it, I'll come and show you guys how it turned out.